Hello everyone, Cup here, and welcome back to some more Mechabellum. I had a match yesterday where I went up against someone who was going to go for carry Arclights, it looked like, but I shut that down pretty quickly. And also, near the end of the game, I made good use of the EMP tech upgrade on the Marksman. I didn't play that tech upgrade for a long time, but I think it's now more important than ever. Let's get into the match. I'm starting as Marksman Specialist with Crawlers and Mustangs. My opponent is Cost Control with Arclights and Phoenixes. I know I said in the previous video or something that Mustang starts are not that great. At least for playing defensive. If you want to go offense and play like Mustang Steel Balls or something, it might be okay. Or good actually. But if you play standard like this, it's usually not the greatest. Also, right now, my opponent is Cost Control with Arclights, which is pretty good for me because my Mustangs will not get one-shot by the Arclights. And I'm adding some Fangs here. Was considering going for more Marksman, but I'm assuming my opponent will go for Crawlers, and I'd like a little bit more chaff and a little bit more clear for the Crawlers as well, and Fangs are better at that. And my current chaff clear is not that great. Mustangs are okay, but not ideal to clear Crawlers. At least not without any tech upgrades. And yeah, my opponent did go for some Crawlers. Let's see how this goes. Left side, without the level 3 Marksman, is kind of getting wrecked. Also double Arclight on that side. So my opponent made the left side stronger and I'm stronger on the right side because of my Marksman. But yeah, this start, by the way, also a reason why Mustang start is not that great. If your opponent starts with Arclights, the Arclights can farm so much XP on the Mustangs. In this case it's not that bad because my opponent is Cost Control, and again the Cost Control Arclights don't one-shot the Mustangs, but still though. I have so many good targets now for the Arclights that my opponent kind of gets, I wouldn't say baited, but my opponent could very well go into carry Arclights from here. So I need to be aware of that. And I'm adding some Stormcallers. And I picked up the Haste module, by the way. Haste module, one of the good items to put on Mustangs. And some Stormcallers there next to the tower in my favorite position. Stormcaller's good to deal with the Arclights as well. So I'm kind of getting ready for my opponent to build more Arclights or to go heavier into Arclights even. That's why I picked up the Stormcallers, and I also added another Marksman there on the right. And I put both on the right because I want to win one side for sure. The other will lose most likely, but that's okay. I just want to make sure for now that I win the right side. And my opponent added 2 more Arclights over there, so yeah, looks like my opponent is leaning heavier into Arclights, kind of as expected. However, I'm not sure, I didn't pay attention. Maybe because my Mustangs with the haste module were too quick, so they died too quickly. So they moved too fast that they went in front and died too quickly to the Arclights. And that's why they couldn't clear the Crawlers, and the Crawlers definitely were a problem now on the right side. Let me check if my opponent also added Crawlers. No, they didn't. Okay, yeah, it was really because of the haste module, and also another Arclight was, or 2 Arclights were added there on the right, and they got ranged upgrade. So yeah, my opponent just countered my chaff and my Mustangs too hard that actually the Crawlers kind of ran me over there. So right now I need to deal with the crawlers better. They ran me over, and then my Stormcallers and Marksmen couldn't take out the Arclights and Phoenixes. So even though the Arclights are definitely still a problem right now, they take out my Chaff and my Mustang so quickly. However, I think the problem that I need to address right now first is the Chaff. That's usually how it goes. You need to address the Chaff first, and then you can worry about the rest. And yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm building a Vulcan here to take out the crawlers, and my opponent added more crawlers because they also saw probably, hey, crawlers were doing some work here. However, with my Vulcan now on the right, taking them out pretty quickly, and now with those gone, my snipers and Stormcallers are actually able to take out the Arclights and Phoenixes. So I already had a good answer to the Arclights and Phoenixes, but they couldn't do their job last turn because of the crawlers. And yeah, now with the Vulcan, that problem is solved. Good tower timing here for me, so my sniper can take out pretty much everything. That's a general rule, by the way. You should always worry about the chaff wars first. So you want to have chaff yourself and distract your opponent's units for as long as possible. And at the same time, clear your opponent's chaff quicker than they clear yours. That's basically how it usually goes. And yeah, with the chaff taken care of, following the snipers and Stormcallers can do the rest. Picking up wasps here, my opponent doesn't really have anti-air outside of the Phoenixes. So the wasps can actually do quite a lot this turn. And now I'm starting, because I'm kind of confident in the right side now with the Vulcan there, I'm starting to reinforce my left side, and I also want to stop losing over there. Might not happen this turn, but let's see. Yeah, adding a Vulcan and Stormcallers. So kind of going for the same setup on that side. No Marksman yet though. Getting the tower, health and attack. It's pretty good for all my units, pretty much right now. So Mustangs really benefit from it, Vulcans, Stormcallers as well. And my opponent went for the incendiary bomb, and that's not good. I did not really pay attention, otherwise I might have shielded, but it's okay. Losing a turn because of incendiary feels kind of bad, but at the same time I hopefully still shouldn't lose that hard. Especially my left side is doing better now. The couple of wasps actually taking out the Phoenixes, it looks like. Yeah, and also a couple of fangs still left. So I'm actually winning on the left now, even without any marksmen. My opponent went for a melting point on the right. So they are not going further into Arclights, by the way. Because, well, I have a Vulcan to take out the chaff very efficiently, and then Stormcallers and Marksmen to deal with the Arclights. Going heavier into Arclights would kind of be a throw, because I already counter them, and it can just go heavier into Mustangs, into Marksmen, I mean, to counter them even harder. And yeah, so my opponent kind of transitioned out of the Arclights and is now going for the melting point to counter my Vulcan, and they are hoping with the Vulcan countered they can then win the rest of the round. I'm skipping here. Nothing that's really interesting to me. I'm not upgrading the Stormcaller on the right, by the way. I could, and maybe I should have, to be honest, but I really very rarely upgrade Stormcallers anymore because of the anti-missile device. I don't want to invest any more money Oh, now that I say it, obviously I upgraded. So yeah, it's fine. As I said, I could upgrade it, and as long as my opponent isn't going for anti-missile devices, obviously they are pretty good. And overall, I seem to be winning, and even if they go for an anti-missile device, I might still win the round and destroy it. So it's not like an easy choice by my opponent to go for anti-missile device. Because it might just get destroyed, and that's money wasted. I'm adding some level 2 Marksman here, by the way, to deal with the melting points and the Arclights. And my opponent went for another melting point on the left, and they got the replicate upgrade on the crawlers. However, the crawlers are not coming through though, not with my Vulcans. So the engagement is not working in the order that my opponent would want it to. So they were probably thinking Vulcan kind of gets dealt with by the melting point, and then if crawlers are still alive, they would really run me over with the replicate, because they can take out all my snipers, all my storm crawlers and everything. And you can see on the left side a couple of crawlers came through, and they take out everything now, and they just get more and more. So just the order of engagement, or in general the Vulcan, is a problem for my opponent now still. They need to take out my Vulcan quicker. And also my opponent went for the crawler spawn as well on the melting points. So even more crawlers coming in with replicate. Also delayed, by the way, so the spawned crawlers actually on the melting points can come in after my Vulcan is dead. That is what happened, by the way, last turn on the left side. And I am going for range. Okay, I'm going for multiple tech upgrades here. So I'm going for fire on the storm crawlers to deal with the crawlers better, especially also the spawned crawlers, because there will be fire on the ground near the melting points most likely, and then the crawlers that spawn will just die right away. And I'm going for range on the Mustangs, because the Mustangs die too quickly because they are so far in the front. They die to the Arclights, and I want them to stay a bit back to take out the single crawlers that might come through. And I also went for the EMP tech upgrade on the snipers. I put it back on. I did not have it on for quite some time. That is there to both disable the range on the Arclights as well as the crawler spawn on the melting points. A lot of crawlers coming in. Also my opponent went for the underground threat, but there's fire on the ground now, so most crawlers just burn to the fire, and those that don't get taken out by my Vulcans still. However, Vulcans are now locked on and dying both. So now crawlers could actually spawn. However, there's fire on the ground, and some are actually disabled, some melting points. So they can't actually spawn any crawlers because of the EMP snipers. And yeah, so it's hard countered basically. I counter the crawlers and I counter the tech as well. Kind of considering mass-produced overlords here, to be honest. For one, it's fun, and also it can be really good here with ground cannon. But I'm already set up in a way that I'm countering everything kind of comfortably now. So I'm picking the range card. Just everything has more range. It's in general usually good with Mustangs and snipers and all that. And I'm going for triple wasps now. So this is kind of a classic finisher in my book. My opponent doesn't have a lot of anti-air, just the phoenixes and melting points, and both are very slow at taking out the wasps. So I'm expecting the wasps to distract my opponent for a long time. And so everything my opponent has, the matting points and the phoenixes especially, are distracted for even longer, and with those taken care of, there's not a lot left. My opponent went for more crawlers there on the left, trying to overrun my left side where there's no Vulcan. And it might actually work, let's see. Oh, it's still too much. Fire RT and Mustangs and the Wasps now there too. Wasps also help with chaff clear, by the way, don't forget that. There are a lot of units with a lot of small attacks. They are also pretty good at taking out crawlers. And yeah, matting points actually just locking on to my Wasps now, and they are just getting destroyed. GG's. This is enough damage, right? Yes. So my opponent first wanted to move into carry Arclights, I'm pretty sure, because they went for like 5-6 Arclights right away and already gave them the range upgrade. And also I had a lot of good targets for the Arclights. So yeah, this was that game. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.